Hello everyone. Today we'll cover a new chapter of history, that is how, when and where. It is the first chapter in your book. In this chapter we'll got to know about the following topics. They are importance of dates, periodization, colonization, source material, literary sources, national museum, national archives. Now, you might be thinking these topics are quite tough to be understood, but what I feel is you can only start learning history when you know about these terms. So, let's get started. Have you ever wondered from where we get the information of making of the Taj Mahal? How did we get the ancient rules and regulations? And when was it all started? I know you never wondered about it, as you find history quite boring, but history is all about how, when, and where. These three questions can make you know the past traditions and rituals. History helps to answer such questions as it tells us about the changes that occur over a period of time. It is about finding out how things were in the past and how things have changed. So, here is the first topic, that is importance of dates. Have you ever seen someone drinking coffee and wondered that when did people begin drinking coffee? From where did they get the coffee beans? And how it all has started? So, such questions pertaining to history take us to the realm of time. People in India did not begin drinking coffee suddenly one fine morning. They must have developed a taste for it over a period of time. There can be no one particular date for a process such as this. So, dates of events indicate an event's position in relation to the other events in history. For example, the year 1857 is a landmark in Indian history. So, it is very important to know the dates and the events which happened in the past and to study about them in present. So, it can be said that history can be studied only when we have the knowledge of dates. Now, the next topic is periodization in history. It is the division of history into broad time periods on the basis of some distinct characteristics. James Mills, a Scottish philosopher, divided Indian history into three broad periods on the basis of religion: ancient period, that is Hindu period; medieval period, that is Muslim period; modern period, that is British era or British period. Modern period of Indian history starts with the death of Aurangzeb. Here you can see that there was a time where you can find the different events to be happened. In one such period we can find the scientific progress. In one such period we can find the industrialization in our country and the Muslim rulers and other things. So, in a nutshell, I would say that periodization is basically to bring the various events all together and give them a time duration in which they all had happened. Now, the next topic is colonization. It is the subjugation of one country by the other country, leading to political, social, economic, and cultural changes. This means one country will have the full control over the another country by bringing the various changes in political, social, economic, and cultural fields. A colonizing country uses the resources of its colonies to promote its own modernization. For example, in British era, India was like a colony to British country, or you can say Britain. They took all our resources for their use and brought their culture, rituals, and political events to our country. Then the next topic is source material. You know what? In history, we cannot find everything at one place and one time. We have different data by which we have generated history. The data can be primary or the secondary. Primary sources were the original documents or the evidence which gave us the right idea about the things. And the secondary data is basically the recreated data from the primary data. Means the one which we have in the first time is primary data, and if anyone takes that first data to recreate any other document is known as secondary data. And there are other source materials too, that is administrative records kept by the previous government, surveys, mapping can be used as a source material to know the place and to know about the places around it. Then the next topic is literary sources. They include books, magazines, newspapers, journals, biographies, autobiographies, speeches, etc. With the invention of printing press, there was great growth in literary sources. Even ordinary people wrote their autobiographies. There were many plays, short stories, and novels which reflect the time in which they were written. What is remarkable is the fact that many women wrote in this period. So basically, literary sources were one of the source by which we got to know about the past or the ancient times. Basically, the literary sources can be created and understood by the literate people only. That's why literary sources were one of the most major source for knowing the history. Then the next topic is National Museum and National Archives. Now what are they? National Museum in New Delhi and other museums have preserved many coins, paintings, jewelry, weapons, and other artifacts of the period. This shows that we conserved, we protected, we have saved our heritage in our museums. It is basically shows the past artifacts, the past happenings, the past evidences in a one place or at a one place. That's why national museums have their own significance. Then the last topic is National Archives. Basically, National Archive of India was set up for housing the government documents, diaries, letters, farmans, and old books. These archives were basically official and confidential too, but it can be used by the future generation when they begin learning the history and they got to know about our today's time in their time. So that's all for today. I hope that the chapter is clear to you, and if you still have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section below. Thank you, students.